Hey guys, today I'm going to have a video based upon first-time home buying and things that you should know before purchasing your first home. Alright, so the first thing you want to figure out is your budget. So you don't want to have something outrageous in mind. If your budget is between $250 and $300, you want to stick to that. You don't want to end up falling in love with something that you just truly cannot afford. Alright, so you also want to get pre-approved by a lender, and it's going to make the entire process much more concise, to be honest. Getting pre-approved is going to help with a couple of different things, including giving you that absolute top-end budget, so your agent will not show you homes that you just truly cannot afford. And again, you don't want to fall in love with something that you can't afford, because you're going to be kicking yourself down the road. You're going to be like, why did I go look at that? If you were to settle for something a little bit cheaper that you may not like as much. And then also, it makes your offer more appealing. So when you have a pre-approval, it's usually submitted with the offer, and that's essentially going to show the seller that you're serious and you actually want to buy the house. Now, the third thing you want to do is really research the neighborhoods. So obviously, if you're working with an agent, they should probably do all this for you, but you want to get an idea of what you're looking for in a community. For instance, down here at the beaches in Delaware, there's so many different communities which offer so many different things. For instance, there's communities with resort-style amenities. There's homes that aren't in communities. There's manufactured mobile homes with septic systems and wells. So there's really a vast array of properties out there, and you really want to kind of narrow down and really know what you're looking for before starting the process, because it's going to make it so much easier overall. Now, for this one, I may be a little bit biased because I'm a real estate agent, but you do want to work with a realtor in this process because they are familiar with the area and the communities that you're looking for. So it's going to make the process on your end much easier. You probably have a full-time job as is, so why would you want to add stress to your life by taking what the realtor is supposed to do for you in terms of searching for a home and apply that to your day-to-day life? So essentially, let your real estate agent handle that entire process. It's going to become much less stressful for you. All right, so now's the fun part. We're talking about expenses. So there's a ton of expenses along the way, and you don't really realize that until you actually start this process. At least for me, I didn't really find out until we began the home searching process and speaking with an agent and so on and so forth. So first, you have your escrow deposit or earnest money deposit. That's going to be the deposit that kind of like holds the contract in line. That shows the sellers that you're pretty serious about buying the property. And if you're doing new construction, general rule of thumb for new construction is somewhere in the vicinity of 10% for most builders if it's a to-be-built house. So a 10% down payment, essentially, to kind of get the ball rolling in that regard. Then you have your property taxes, homeowners insurance, so on and so forth. Those are going to be part of your closing costs. And in Delaware, I think we are actually the highest state for closing costs in the nation. I think DC only beats us out in terms of amount due at closing. So you want to keep closing costs in mind. It can definitely rack up there. For instance, I think I paid around $30,000 in closing costs, so that was all out of pocket. And some other expenses as well. You have your inspections. Obviously, I'm going to recommend inspections for any first-time home buyer, especially on a resale. There's the appraisal fee, which is paid at closing technically, but that's usually around $500 or so. And then so on and so forth. And then lastly, I mean, there's a tip here that I don't think a lot of people do, to be honest with you, and you really should. So I know you were pre-approved by a particular lender previously, but you want to shop around for the best mortgage rate. So usually in the contract, you have a certain number of days that you have to obtain a mortgage commitment, but that's usually further down the line. And then there's also a certain number of days for you to apply to a mortgage company or a specific lender. So what I usually recommend to my clients is have 3 lenders in mind. So you have the one that gave you the pre-approval, and probably contact 2 more. See who's going to give you the best rate. You can really go back and forth between the 2 or 3, whatever you may decide, and they'll kind of fight to give you the best rate, the best deal, the most off closing. And some of them have different programs which will allow you to save the most money, of course. And I mean, as your agent, that's what I would want you to do, is save the most money off the bat initially. Now, I hope you found some of this information helpful today. And if you're looking in Delaware, and in particular around the beaches or coastal Delaware, I would be happy to help you out. My number one duty is helping my clients, and I honestly love first-time home buyers because I see the joy on their face when they fall in love with a property in particular, and then we're able to kind of move along in the process. So if you want to learn more about coastal Delaware or Delaware in particular, feel free to shoot me a message on here. Shoot me an email at mharkins@psre.com, or just give me a call at 302-528-2705. I'm always looking to help people move to Delaware. Even if you're not ready to move and you just have questions about the state in particular, I'm a lifelong Delawarean. I've lived at the beach for about 2 years now, but I've been coming down here my entire life. So I'm very aware of all of what Delaware has to offer. Look forward to hearing from you.